everyone, welcome back to my kitchen and welcome to the first of my freezer meal videos. Today I'm going to be focusing on quick and easy meals. The first meal I'll be making is hamburgers. I've got 2 pounds of ground beef here and I'm going to add some garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. I find that the best way to mix this all together really well is to just use my hands. Next, I'm adding it to this hamburger form that I bought off of Amazon. It's a great way to form the hamburgers, and yes, I know they're these funny shapes, but funny enough, when they cook, they turn out to be perfectly round patties. Don't ask me how it works, it just does. I'm just gonna put the lid on and put it in the freezer. The next meal I'll be making is meatballs. I'm chopping up 1 onion and then I will saute it until soft. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nathania. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids and I share real-life cooking and cleaning motivation. If you've been to my channel before, welcome back. I hope you will find this video helpful and motivational. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Now that the onions are done sauteing, I have 2 pounds of hamburger that I've put in this bowl and I'll add half of the onions to it. Some almond flour, 2 eggs, some broth, ketchup, salt, pepper, and then give that a good mix. Here again, I just find it easiest to use my hands and mix it all together. Now I'm just forming them into small balls and sauteing them just for a couple minutes on each side. You're not really trying to cook them through here, you're just trying to get a nice crisp outside and then flash freeze them. And then when you pull them out of the freezer, you can cook them in your slow cooker or your Instant Pot. I use a cookie scoop to get the right amount of meat and then roll it up in my hands to make a rounder ball. I just find using the cookie scoop makes a nice sized meatball. And now I'm going to put this tray in the freezer. Next we'll work on the sauce that goes with these meatballs. I have some broth. I'm just adding some arrowroot flour as a thickener, and then some Worcestershire sauce, red wine vinegar, ketchup, and mustard powder. And then mix that well. Now I didn't want to mix the sauce in with the meatballs because I was afraid that it would kind of make the meatballs mushy. So I decided to go ahead and bag up the sauce in these 2 smaller quart-sized freezer bags, and then I'll add those to the gallon-sized freezer bags with the meatballs. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the freezer to start getting hard. Next meal is a Parmesan honey pork roast. I'm going to grate up some fresh Parmesan and then add honey, coconut aminos, or you could also use soy sauce, garlic powder, salt, and some olive oil. Some dried basil, and water. Mix that all up really well. And then here's my pork roast. I actually cut this in half and made some. I had some in the Crockpot for supper this night, and that's something that I would say is nice to do. Have an easy meal that's already prepped and cooking while you're making all these other meals, so that you have something that evening when you're done making all these extra freezer meals. I just added the sauce to the bag. And another tip is put your bag in something to hold it so that you don't have this happen. You'll see later on in the video, I made sure all of my bags were in something to hold them contained so that I didn't have this problem again. So take advice from me, learn from my mistake, and put your bag in something so you don't lose your sauce. The next meal, I'm bagging up 2 bags of chicken. One's gonna be for teriyaki chicken, and one's going to be for some chicken ranch tacos. Make sure you stick around to the end where I show you a hack for how I label these bags, and it's not with a Sharpie marker that can make a mess in your freezer, so make sure you stick around to see what that is. For the teriyaki chicken, I'm adding honey, coconut aminos, rice vinegar, sesame oil, garlic powder, and then I'm using my microplaner to grate up some frozen ginger. I like to just keep ginger in the freezer. You can just pull it out whenever you need fresh ginger for a recipe like this and just grate it with your microplaner. It works really well. And the last thing I'm adding is arrowroot flour for a thickener. Here I'm putting my chicken bag in a bowl and I'm pouring in the sauce. You want to make sure when you do these freezer meals in a bag that you get all the air out. You don't want any air in there at all. So really squeeze that air out when you go to shut it. And then I like to kind of give it a good mix to make sure all the chicken's covered with sauce, and there's another meal done. The last one is the ranch chicken tacos. I'm using some chili powder and some homemade ranch seasoning. Also adding in some red wine vinegar and olive oil. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please make sure you hit that like button, as that helps it to spread to more people. Thank you. Also, if you like this type of content, please leave me a comment. It really helps me out to know what you like to see. Okay, so the burgers are all frozen, and as you can see, they just pop out of here really nicely and are nice formed patties. So I'm just gonna get these all out of here and bagged up. So I printed these labels up on my computer and cut them out, and then I used packing tape to cover the label so that it stays nice and protected. It's just a really great way to put a label on the bag and not have to use a Sharpie marker. I've definitely had times where the Sharpie marker has rubbed off of the bag and I'm not exactly sure what's in there. So I have found that these labels, doing it this way, they hold up really well and you know exactly what's in there. Now the meatballs are nice and firm, so I'm going to break these up into 2 different bags as I made a double batch. Go ahead and put the sauce in with them. Now this is a great Instant Pot recipe. You just put the meatballs in the bottom, add the sauce, and cook them. I think it's like for 10 or 15 minutes, and boom, you have very delicious meatballs with a gravy. Such an easy meal and so good. My family loves these, which is why I made a double batch. Now I should have probably put these labels on before I put the food in. It would have been a lot easier, but I did get it to work. But just a tip is to make sure to put these on beforehand when the bag is nice and flat. And I will have all of these recipes linked in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Now some of them aren't exactly paleo or gluten-free. I made them that way, so you can look at the recipe for reference and then come back to my video to follow the way to make it gluten-free or paleo. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified every time I share a new video on cooking and cleaning motivation. If you found this video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up so it can spread to more people. I also have another cooking video here that shows what we eat in a week. There's 5 great family-friendly meals in there to give you some more cooking motivation. Thanks for stopping by our joyful house.